Hi everyone. In this lesson should be a quick one, hopefully, and the last one was pretty long, so I'm going to make this one as quick as I can. What I want to do is show you some elements that we haven't used yet that you can use to lay out your page into different parts. So if you surf the web at all in your lifetime, you probably noticed that a lot of web pages kind of follow a similar layout. They have a big banner across the top, and they might have a navigation bar somewhere on the page, and there might be a sidebar somewhere, and then there's usually a footer too. So we have elements in HTML that we can use to divide our page up into these different parts, and that's what I'm going to show you here. Let's go ahead and create a new file. So we'll right click on the HTML folder, choose new file, and let's press Control S to save it right away, and let's just call it html-layout.html, just like that. And we'll go ahead and put in our boilerplate code. So type in HTML and hit tab, and we'll give it a title. Hopefully you guys are becoming familiar with this. Okay, and normally we'd add an H1 element here to be like a big heading for our page, but I'm not going to do that in this case because I want to use these different layout elements that I'm going to show you here. So let's go ahead and add what's called a header element right inside the body here. So first let's go ahead and fix our indentation here. So we want to select the head and body elements and press tab to indent them so that we can see that they're nested nice and neat right inside of the HTML element. Okay, so inside the body, let's add a header element. Now don't be confused. This is different than the head element. This is like a header. I think a better name would have been banner, because what the header element is for is to act as like to put the banner across the top of the pages that you see on websites. So let's just go ahead, and that usually has the company name there. So we'll just type this in. Company name goes here, and that'll end up being the banner for our web page here. Okay, now web pages often have nav bars, so there's a special element for nav bars. So let's go ahead and add one now. And that is called the nav element. So underneath the header, type in NAV for nav and hit tab. Now what we usually put inside of here are lists. So a list of links. So we're going to use some of the elements to create a list here. For the heck of it, let's go with an unordered list. So I'm going to spread apart the opening and closing UL tags for that. And then I'll go ahead and I'm just going to paste this code in, but we'll add some list items here. I'll paste it so you don't have to watch me fumble with the typing. Okay, so I've added 3 list items to this list, and all three of them have hyperlinks inside of them. So this is how you create a navigation bar. Alright, and we'll talk about how you can make these look better once we get to the CSS unit of this program, which is coming up pretty quick here. Okay, now usually we've got the header and the navigation, and they usually appear at the top of the page. That's kind of the common pattern for web pages. And then underneath the navigation comes the main content area. So what we can use for that is a main element. So type in main and hit tab, and then this would be where all of the content goes here. So this is where we probably put our H1 element that says what the page is about. This page is about. And we'd also put all the rest of our content in here for this particular page. So we might have a paragraph, and I'll just type in some garbage for our paragraph right now. But anyways, the main element contains the meat of the page. If you're a blogger, the main element is going to have your blog post in it. Alright, now we might also add a sidebar to a page. So right underneath the main element, I'm going to add an element called a side, and that's for creating a sidebar. So type in ASIDE and hit tab, and then this will be your sidebar. So okay, and then we usually have a footer as well. So let's go ahead and underneath the sidebar, let's add a footer. element. So type in footer, and then we'll split apart the opening and closing footer tags, and we'll just say this is the footer. Now if I look at this page in the browser, it's not going to look like much, and everything here, let's just take a look here. So save your changes, press Control S, and then right click and do open in browser, and we don't have much to look at right here. Oh, let me pull that over here for you. There it is. Now it doesn't look very good, but in the next unit when we talk about CSS, you'll see how you can make everything look nice and neat. So we'll talk about that real soon. But there are some basic elements for laying out your page into sections: header, nav, main, aside, and footer. So we'll be seeing those more later in the course. Please make sure to read the article that goes with this video so that you get all the information. I usually add a little bit of extra information in the article. All right, we'll see you in the next lesson.